Today I'm replacing the water pump and thermostat on a 2010 BMW 328i. First thing, the only thing I've done so far is I just removed the belly pan, the front belly pan here. After that, I removed the inner bushings, just the two bolts for this sway bar bushing brackets. This nut, this one. Remove these two little brackets, just one 8mm socket will work. Take both of these off, and then you can get these out of the way and drop the sway bar down. And then I like to loosen up this as well. This is just a cooler line for the power steering. So don't take this nut off. You're gonna end up breaking this mount. It's hard to hold these and spin this without damaging them. So just right up here on the top, you can just use a 10mm wrench to take the whole bracket off, and then you can swing this all out of the way. Then you'll have better access to the water pump up there that's leaking and the thermostat. So I'm gonna take those out of the way right now. All right, now with that stuff out of the way, pretty good access to it. You're gonna either you can drain the radiator by pulling this off the bottom of the end tank and just drain your coolant out that way. Those things sometimes will seize up and, you know, kind of break, you know, you can damage the radiator with those. So that's the cleaner, nicer way to do it. Or you can just pull the hose right at the water pump right here. Just pull these fittings off, put a bucket underneath, and you're gonna make a mess. So there's my target. There's where the coolant's gonna come out. I'm gonna kind of get it loose and just shove a pick in there to kind of break the seal with the hose, and then just let it drip everywhere for a while. Once I get the coolant out, I can pull this hose off. Just pull it off both sides. And I'm gonna undo the clamp on the thermostat too. And I can take this clamp here. This one also attaches. There's only two hoses that attach to the water pump, two larger hoses. The inlet and then the side where it pushes out the coolant here. So you can take both of these clamps off and then slide both the hoses off. And these two bolts here are what mount the thermostat. I'm sorry, my light's crazy. Those mount the thermostat to the water pump. So you take those two bolts loose, you unplug the thermostat, a little map plug there, and unplug the other plug for the water pump. And there's a little ground cable that goes right up there. It's actually a inverted Torx bit, but a 10mm wrench will bust it loose. It's aluminum, so it's not very difficult to loosen. You kind of see, I can't find an angle where you can see it, but it's right there if you just follow that wire. So take all that stuff out of the way, and then I'll show you how to get the water pump out. All right, now with this hose off, that hose, the clamp off of it, it's still on there. The clamp is off, and it's once the water pump is loose, I can kind of just wiggle it off the hose. There's just 3 mounting screws. You know, it's unplugged. There's 3 mounting screws. They're aluminum. Use the inverted Torx bit. This one, and then up top there's just one. And I use a extension with a swivel. It's a little bit tricky to get to, but above the thermostat here. But with the thermostat loose, you can use this is what I use. It's a long extension with a swivel, and then the inverted Torx bit. And yeah, you can just go right through here, get that one out of there, and then the whole thing will be loose, and you can pull it straight out the bottom. So that's what I'm gonna do now. All right, now that the water pump is out, it's easier to get the thermostat out of here. So I left this hose connected. You know, the other water pump hose, I just left it connected on the thermostat side because the way the clamp was spun, I wasn't able to get access to it anyways. So there's just a couple more hoses here. You can see the release that quick connect on that lower radiator hose. And then there's another one, kind of, it's hard for me to show you, but up here that connects to it that you can, kind of the same thing, just pull the little clip off of it. And then one hose off the back you have to get to with a there it is. You have to get to that hose with a swivel socket. I think it's a 7mm, and pull the hoses off, and then you can drop that right out of here. So that's what I'm gonna do now. All right, now with the thermostat out, I like to try to make sure, and the most important thing is when you're doing this, I'm reinstalling it the same way I took it out with this hose, with just the one hose attached to the thermostat that connects to the back of the water pump. So it goes like this. Just make sure this is clocked correctly. Pay attention to there's a little indicator here. Just pay attention to the orientation between that and the thermostat housing, and you know, just otherwise you're going to have to get to that clamp and try to rotate it in place, which you may end up having to do, but it's nice to just be able to stick it all together and everything lines up correctly. So thermostat up first. I like to put a little bit of brake grease around the quick connect fittings, and also around the barbs, just to make the hoses all go together nicely. Also, when you do push the hoses back on, these kind of spring clip style hoses like this, make sure the clip is on all the way, and make sure you hear it click, and look at it and make sure that it's just seated correctly, because I've seen sometimes when they jump past this barb, they actually they push out on their own, and then you'll have, you know, it'll get hot and it'll blow off and you'll make a big mess. So just make sure those are pushed all the way in. These the ends of the clip are seated, and you hear it click. So I'm gonna start putting this thermostat back in. Just attach the hoses, and that's it for now. All right, I stuck the water pump back up there and tightened the 3 screws up. We replace them every time. They're aluminum fasteners. They're supposed to be just, usually they come with the pump anyways. If you get the pump from the dealer, they'll just send you the screws. So new screws, tighten up all your clamps. Pretty easy to put the pump in. You know, make sure you get those 2 bolts that mount your thermostat back in, and this little clip here, push that on the same way it came off the old one that holds the harness, you know, out of the way, how it should be routed. And that's it. So not a bad job, really. It's a little bit messy. One note about this job is if you have oil leaks coming from above, like this one does actually, the valve cover gasket is leaking on this, and there was oil on the thermostat. That oil breaks down the plastics and the rubber, the seal, how these things are assembled, and you'll get leaks. So make sure you take care of any oil leaks above that, the oil filter housing gasket and the valve cover gasket, before you replace this pump. It's a good idea. So, well, thanks for watching.